part 3 of this tutorial series, we'll be taking a different approach. This time the camera is moving closer to your subject as he runs off. So this is a more complicated shot. I think this is going to be a more fun shot. So let's begin. I already have my footage in my composition. So I just scroll to the point where he's about to run. Click on that point and press B to make your end point. Then you press G on your keyboard to bring out your masking tool and draw a mask around your actor. When you're done with the mask, press M on your keyboard and change the mask type to none. This is so you can see everything and animate your mask path. Now click the stopwatch on the mask path and move forward each frame until your actor is off screen. Now that we have our actor off screen, press N on your keyboard to isolate your work area. We will be using content aware fill again to remove our actor from the shot. So go and change your mask type to subtract. That means we've created a hole for content aware fill to fill. And content aware fill is going to use the same settings you used in the last project. So I like the settings the way they are and I'm not going to change anything. So you click on generate fill and wait for After Effects to remove your actor. And After Effects has done its magic. Your actor is no longer in the shot. So go and delete your mask on your footage and play it back to see what it looks like. There's a bit of a distortion here, but because of the kind of effect we're doing, that is not going to be a problem. So the next thing we're going to do is create the blur. I'm going to create the blur the exact same way I did it the last 2 times. Duplicate your clip, take it upward, scroll to the point where he has that running motion, trim your clip to 1 frame, press G on your keyboard to bring out your masking tool and draw a mask around your actor. With our mask around our actor, we're going to pre-compose our shot just like before. Press Ctrl Shift C on your keyboard, name it blur, move all attributes to new comp and hit OK. Now press Ctrl Space on your keyboard, or this time let me go to Effects and Presets and type Fast Box Blur. Drag it to your layer, change the blur dimensions to horizontal, increase the blur radius. I think that's a good look. That's a good positioning too. Duplicate the clip, move it forward 1 frame and move him towards the end of your screen. Now we'll play that back. This is what we've got. That's good. From the shot, you saw that I had this shockwave and displacement behind him, so we're going to create that displacement. So first I want to track my footage so my shockwave can be right in place. Control Space, Camera, 3D Camera Tracker. Click on it and wait for your camera to track. Now that the tracking is done, you're going to see a bunch of tracking spots all over your scene. So you look for a point like this where you see this circle thingy appearing over the floor. I think that's a good position. So I'm going to right click, set ground plane and origin. Go back to it again and right click, create solid and camera. Now if you scrub through your timeline, and you'll see that that solid is tracked to the scene. I am not going to make the shockwave from scratch because I am too lazy, so I have a shockwave stock footage here that I'm going to use to make things easier for me. So you just drag it to your composition. I think I'm gonna leave it on top. Move it to the part where he runs off. I think this is, well, I don't like the beginning part of the shockwave. It's too bright, so I just need a little. Trim it to start at that point and then change your shockwave layer to 3D. You see this 3D box here, check on it and change your shockwave to 3D and it goes to, I think that's the floor. Yeah, So all I have to do is raise it up and position it where my actor was standing. I'll move it back one frame so I can get the positioning correctly. Yes, that is where he's standing, and then he runs off and the shockwave stays in place. Yeah, that's a good position for the shockwave. Now to ensure that it looks it looks really stupid right now, let's change the shockwave transfer mode to screen. Take off the black. Now let's watch it. It looks really funny right now. Let's fine tune it to give that boom look. So press S on your keyboard to scale up your shockwave to fit. I think that, yeah, that's a good fitting. Just like that. Now just moving in a bit. Rotate on the y-axis to face towards where he ran off. I don't think I'm gonna. Yeah, that is good. Scale up the shockwave some more because you know he moves really fast and you need that massive shockwave. Now the center part of the shockwave is too bright. I don't want that much detail or that much intensity. It's not the ground, it's the air. So the shockwave is like him pushing the wind around him when he ran off. I am going to draw a mask around that bright part of the shockwave. After drawing the mask, change your mask type to subtract. Press F on your keyboard to bring up the feather properties and then you drag it. That's good. Let's scrub through it and see what we got. We want to create the displacement. Now we've got our shockwave. I think the shockwave is still too rigid, so we need to make it a bit more soft. Press Ctrl space and type fast box blur just to blur out the shockwave a little. This time you're not changing it to the horizontal or vertical, just leave it the way it is and increase the blur radius a little. And now let's see what it looks like. Looking good, looking good. And now for the displacement. To create the displacement, we need to pre-compose our shockwave. So you select your camera and your shockwave and press Ctrl Shift C to pre-compose. Move all attributes to new comp, name it shockwave. Hit enter and change the transfer mode back to screen. Now we want to create the displacement map. So you duplicate your shockwave, pre-compose it again, that's the one on top, name it displacement. Move all attributes, new comp, hit OK. Double click on that displacement, press Ctrl Y to create a new solid, change the color to gray. So you go to B and change it to 50. What that does is it gives you a 50% black, 50% white, that is gray, perfect gray. Take it under your shockwave. Why am I doing this? How the displacement map displaces your footage, it doesn't display the gray parts, it only displaces the either white or black parts. So you turn off your displacement layer and press Ctrl Alt Y on your keyboard to create an adjustment layer and trim that adjustment layer to start where your shockwave starts, and press Ctrl space on your keyboard and type displacement map. Take it down below your blur layer and you can see it's already displacing parts of our clip. So we don't want it to displace everything. Like you can see the trees behind, everything is being displaced. We want it to just displace the parts where the shockwave appears. So you go to your displacement map layer, click on it and select displacement. And if you come here, come closer, you begin to see that it already displaces just a little part of that. Coming closer, you'll see the displacement, but you want it to be bigger. So first click on wrap pixels around so the edge won't get pulled off when you displace it. So right now you increase your horizontal displacement max, you can see that displacement already, and increase the vertical. Now let's play it back and see what we have. One thing I forgot to add in the last tutorial is how I did camera shake for when he ran off. So to do that, select everything and pre-compose, Control Shift C. Move all attributes to new comp. The name doesn't really matter at this point. I have a preset I created for the camera shake. So I'm going to put that preset in the description below for you to download and use. But since I've already created a preset, I won't show you how I made it for now. I'm just going to go to my user presets and I have camera shake, drag it into your footage. Everything is already set. All I have to do is just animate my slider controls. So you look for the point where it runs off here. Alright, and then you click on your slider control for both amplitude and frequency. Move forward, press page down in your keyboard, move forward 2 frames, and then increase both amplitude and frequency to maybe a figure of, let's say, 8, not too high, and then you move forward 2 more frames or 3 more frames, and then take it back down to 0. Now turn on motion blur for your composition, and if we scrub through it now, this is what we get. Thank you for staying till the end of part 3 of this tutorial. I'll see you in part 4.